Usually I'd feel bad, but I need to come first sometimes. 15 touching confessions from internet strangers. I'm a horrible son. I'm a 16-year-old male that hasn't gone to school in over 2 months. I'm failing and I have no more friends. My mom told me she might put me in therapy, and I even saw her cry, which of course hurt me, but I feel like it should have hurt me more. I'm still not doing anything about it, and I just have no motivation to do anything besides deteriorate and melt away. Police might come to my house soon because of how much school I've missed, but honestly at this point I couldn't care less of what happens in my life. I feel like it would be fine if I didn't wake up in the morning. I know that I'm affecting other people's lives like my mother's, yet I can't bring myself to do anything about it. Most days I just sleep all day and don't eat or even go to the bathroom until the end of the day. I'm not sure why I'm posting on here. I don't know if it will gain any attention, but yeah, we'll see. Nobody remembered my birthday. So my birthday was on Valentine's Day and I just turned 18. My parents were busy and they didn't remember or seem to care even after I myself told them that it was my birthday. Not going to lie, it hurt me. My day was already ruined, but I went to school and the same thing happened there. I just wanted to vanish. Happy birthday to me, I guess. I'm generally scared now. Thanks to the media, I've heard about a lot of the mass shootings going on. I'm now scared to go basically anywhere. I'm even scared that something bad will happen at my graduation tonight. I hate this. And it's even worse that seemingly nothing is being done about it. I should also quickly mention, there was a major fight at school a week before school ended, and the literal day after, there was a threat that they'll continue it the next day and bring weapons. So yeah, I was worried. And for everybody asking, I have anxiety, and often picture the worst scenario happening when I'm planning things or going somewhere. I look up dead people on social media when I'm standing at their graves. When I'm in a graveyard, I sometimes stand at recent graves and look up the person on social media. It's a weird feeling standing over someone's grave and reading their Facebook statuses. Often it feels like you form a connection with them. It's a complicated connection because I know they would think I'm a creep. I like them, but I'm sure they wouldn't like me. I guess I am a creep. I prefer the term curious, but I can't deny that I'm not a creep. I don't know anyone else who does this. The usual reasons I look someone up is: an interesting gravestone, interesting name, died young, died recently enough to have social media accounts. I just find this interesting and I don't really know why. Maybe it's because I'm witnessing the life and death of one person simultaneously and the mind simply isn't evolved to a point where I can understand it. Could be because I want to get to know somebody without having to talk to them and making a faux pas. I love my dog more than my kids. I, 46M, have 2 kids who I love dearly, but for the last 12 years I have had a German Shepherd who has been by my side no matter what. I love my dog more than anything. He even helped me get through the divorce with my wife. Recently she had puppies, and now even though she's getting old, a part of her will live on with me for years to come. I cried my eyes out the entire way home from work today. I'm an electrician and I do work on the side for a guy who owns a ton of rental properties. We've become friends over the past couple years and I've gotten to know his family a little bit over that time. I knew one of his dogs hadn't been doing well. He looks like an older dog, but I found out today he was only 5. As I finished up working today, he told me that they had to put their dog, Neko, down tomorrow. So I gave him my condolences. I know how bad it sucks having to put your dog down. I had to do it with my childhood dog in my early 20s. And I've got 2 of my own now, so it kind of hit home. He then proceeded to tell me that it was his 10-year-old son's dog and that he had to break the news to him today. He said the kid just kept pacing around the house, throwing his hands up saying, "Why Neko? Why my dog? He's only 35. In dog years." It literally broke my heart. I mumbled a couple things to him about how sorry I was, trying to keep my composure. Got into my truck. Drove around the block. Parked and started sobbing. After a few minutes I headed home and bawled my eyes out the entire way. I have been sober for 2 years and 6 months. Not drinking feels great, I'm trying to keep it up. It will be 2 years and 6 months with no alcohol. I think a guy is attractive and cute, but I'm straight. My female friend has a guy friend who has many feminine traits. He's cute, LGBT, and he'd be the cutest girl ever if it weren't for the fact that he's a guy. This guy is so cute, in fact, that I stalked his Instagram for a day and saw every picture he ever posted. The thing is, I'm not gay, I just find him to be very attractive. I never told anyone who is close to me, like my girlfriend, because I don't feel like that's something I need to say. Not to mention that her ex was bi, so she probably wouldn't believe me if I told her that I'm straight and the guy in question is just super attractive. I am pro-choice and will stand on that hill forever. I'm a registered nurse. I've seen and heard a lot of stories from girls and women who want to terminate an unwanted pregnancy. I know of girls as young as 12 and women as old as 55. Their stories range from being assaulted at a party or by a relative, or simply their birth control failed them, or they did not take precautions but aren't in a sound place to raise a child. When I was growing up, my mother was very liberal. She, like myself, was pro-choice. She told me this story. Mom had a friend whose daughter was the first in her family to go to college. Everyone was so proud of her. She fell pregnant and the father abandoned her. At this point in time, abortion was illegal. So she found someone through the whispers of hall conversations that performed abortions. $200. It was performed in a warehouse by a man who was a retired veterinarian on a rusty fold-out card table. She went home in severe pain. When her roommate went to check on her, she was fevered and almost unconscious. She died of sepsis the next day. It cost her life. And sadly, this will probably happen to so many other people now. Making abortions illegal only makes them unsafe. Whether it's on a rusty card table or by use of herbs or other means. I honestly dread to see what will happen in emergency rooms now. I am tired of the American media. I don't live in America, I'm nowhere near it, yet everything I see is American. I've never had good representation in American media, always horrible reputation, playing on stereotypes, and casting people who are not of the same race or ethnicity. Because nobody looked like me, I resented myself, and I still resent myself to this day because I don't feel as pretty. This year was the first year we got actually good representation in the main media, but it wasn't even accurate, and in a different show they're not even casting with the same race. Whenever something happens in America, everybody knows about it, whether it's a crime or human rights violation, the Johnny Depp trial, or the new abortion laws. Americans have too much influence over others' media. It is so toxic to my mind listening to horrible news that isn't even related to my country, like how currently abortion is illegal in the US. I feel terrible for people I will never meet, and I beat myself down because I can't do anything. Also because if America does something, all countries do the same thing, and I'm scared it will happen where I'm at. We are already having issues at the country I live, we don't need more issues. Things are getting better in my country, literally 2016 versus 2023 are completely different. I am expected to care about American media and consume it regularly when people don't even care about what happens outside of the US. The Union favors white countries. Mark my words, you'll see them speaking about how inhumane it is for abortion rights to be illegal in the US, while the majority of other countries that they can pressure and can help. I've been dealing with this SAME issue for years. People only think for themselves, it's always me, myself, I, never having empathy for other countries or other people, never bothering to learn cultures, instead shoving their culture. I swear every time there is an Arab talking in an American movie it is gibberish. The only movie that I remember that actually have people speak Arabic is Wonder Woman 2 Feet, and literally all the movies I've watched in my lifetime. In video games they always release things on American time and mask it with GMT. It also doesn't help that the video games that I like aren't popular in my country, so every bit of content is American. I am sick of not being seen or heard. I am sick of racists. I am very sick of white American people. Not all Americans suck, only the idiots do. Reddit is majority American, but I feel like a lot of people here are intelligent enough. It's just the dumb people are really dumb, and there's a lot of them. This is all the feelings that I bottled up these past few days. I'm sorry if my English isn't good. I have nobody else to talk to because even in my country I am an Americanized person. People all my life have told me that I emotionally involve myself too much. I guess that's true. I have no hate towards Americans. I have hate towards education system, the culture, and the media, Hollywood. I stopped watching the news years ago, so that media does not apply to me. I took a burnout day to order wings, stay in bed, and I don't feel bad. That's pretty much it. I've taken a job as an au pair to a newborn, and she's an awesome little baby. I also work at a restaurant. While lining up my 2 new schedules, I've been running around for a week working 12-hour days. Starting next week everything will work well and I'll feel better, but I've forgotten about myself. It's Saturday and my mum didn't need me to watch the baby and told me to rest. She's awesome, but I still had a shift tonight at the busy restaurant. I decided to message my manager and told them I was burned out and I was spending this Saturday for me. Usually I'd feel bad, but I need to come first sometimes. They're a little annoyed at lack of notice, but I'm a hard worker. They'll be fine. Should I order honey mustard wings or spicy buffalo? Maybe both? Think I'll pair it with a bottle of wine. I'm going to break up with my boyfriend and he has no idea. I'm tired of not having my needs met, never being pleased, never being taken out or surprised. I'm tired of always putting in the effort and getting none in return. I'm tired of feeling like a single mom. I'm tired of not having a social life and feeling sorry for him. I'm way too young for this. I'm bored, exhausted, unsatisfied. Our lease is up in a few weeks and I cannot wait to get away and start a new life. He doesn't know I'm planning on breaking up because he pretends like nothing is wrong. This is his last month with me. When we move away I'm shooting my shot and breaking up. I deserve someone better and he deserves someone else. I've come to terms with my decision. It's weird to pretend like everything is normal, but inside I feel numb because I don't love him anymore. Somebody replied, in my last marriage, I told him exactly what was wrong. He said they weren't issues, told him the exact date I would be leaving. And he was still surprised. A, that I was leaving. B, when I left. They minimize anything and everything because it doesn't fit with how they think it should be. There is no winning with these people. No point. I want to leave the US after the Supreme Court makes its decision. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying this and I'm fine with that. You're allowed to feel however you feel about it. I just need to say it. Just to give an idea of why I'm scared, I'm an openly queer individual who lives in a state known for its homophobia. Matthew Shepard was killed a short drive from where I live. With Roe v. Wade overturned, they could overturn so many other things. Not only could I lose my rights, but you can bet that homophobia and hate crimes are only going to get worse if they overturn pro-LGBTQ rights. The thing that's so infuriating is that this is nowhere close to what America is supposed to be. What does land of the free, and the home of the brave really mean? Does it mean having our right to choose taken away? If you don't want to get an abortion, don't get an abortion. If you don't want to marry someone of the same gender, don't marry someone of the same gender. You're allowed to have your own thoughts and choices, but to force it on other people who live in a country based off the very idea of freedom? What an absolute joke. So, I've heard Norway's a good country? Somebody replied. Since this clearly stirred up some feelings, let me break it down. Since 2016, Mexico has experienced a massive influx of well-meaning liberal Americans fleeing their intolerable political situation. They come to Mexico because Mexico is cheap. And also more relaxed in many ways. They don't immigrate legally, they overstay their tourist visas, live in Airbnbs that price out the local population and demand that everyone cater to their needs. You think this is insignificant? I invite you to heavily gentrified areas of Mexico City as well as any touristic area of the country flooded with these people. How is this different than immigration from Mexico to the US? Well, let me count the ways. First of all, these are wealthier people coming to an impoverished country just because they can. Most immigration you get in the US from Latin America are impoverished indigenous people who have been forcefully removed from their ancestral lands by guess who? Yeah, wealthy white people. The same wealthy white people who are coming down here in flocks and gentrifying people out of historic neighborhoods just because they can. A kid cried because of me and I regret nothing. I'm 27 and I got a lovely cat named Cupcake. I found her in the snow while coming back from work. It took her so long to go outside because she was scared of everyone except me. But she was still scared of one person, Darren. Darren is a kid who has a lot of BB guns and he seems to hate animals. 3 years ago, while Cupcake was playing outside, her toy accidentally went into Darren's backyard, so she tried to go get it. Darren was playing there and he decided to shoot her 7 times in the stomach with a BB gun. I was shocked. I rushed to slap the kid and I took his BB gun and shot him 3 times in the stomach. He started to cry. I took my cat to the vet. I was a homophobic but who severely bullied the gay kid I was in a relationship with. I grew up in a rural town in Mississippi in the early 1990s. Around the time I was 14, I outed one of my classmates, Kevin, after I found a playgirl in his backpack. Kevin was already a shy, nerdy kid who got picked on a lot as it was, and one day I was messing with him and dumped all of his stuff out of his backpack and found the playgirl. I told the whole school about it. It's no excuse, but I was struggling with being gay myself and I was always so ashamed of it. I took it out on Kevin every chance I could get. Me and my football teammates would humiliate him at school, calling him obscene names. We'd throw him into lockers and beat him up after school. It wasn't just us either. Other kids threw stuff at him or said messed up things to him, like telling him he was going to hell. He lived a few houses down and I'd catch him alone in the woods behind our houses sometimes. I came up to him once and he thought I was going to hit him again like I did at school and started backing away, asking me why I wouldn't just leave him alone. I don't know why, but I just ran up to him and held him, shaking, and kissed him. This became a regular thing freshman year. I'd treat him like poop and beat him up with my friends at school, taunting him all day, while we'd meet up in the woods and make out. We were each other's first everything. I would trace the bruises and cuts I gave him at school while we lied on a blanket in the woods or up in the old abandoned treehouse further in. Weird tender moments we had, and then it'd go back to the normal routine of him getting attacked and bullied while I laughed with my teammates and friends. It went on until around halfway through our junior year, up until he tried to end himself that December. Him and his parents moved out of town after that and that incident shook me to my core. I still feel so guilty about it today. If only I'd been braver, or just didn't join or start anything. Thank you for listening to the end of the video. You are the people I make this content for. Let me know in the comments below if any of these stories spoke to you, and if you liked the video be sure to subscribe to be kept up to date with my videos.